I'm part of a platform called Bold Women. That is a global platform connecting women all over the world as something very important in my life. I have focused on women and running through the last 6 years. I now have a column in a running magazine. For a while it was more we wanted to have a place. I felt like maybe we don't need it anymore. The goal is to not feel like we need to talk about men or women, but just enjoy the run. So a couple of years ago, I was watching the Amsterdam Marathon. I was so excited to see this amazing group of elite struggling and really, getting into that. But they didn't show the women at all. That was when I realized that it's still very valid to become a voice that talks about what we can do even better to focus more on the elite women. And there's a tendency to hide away the African runners is something that I think is a big shame. In Bold Women, we have been collecting stories and connecting to women. There's Manal, who's running in Dubai. And then I met women like Røya, who's in Muscat in Oman. And she's actually the only woman who is running around. And that takes courage. Then there's Yusuki, who's in China. It's not always the individual performance. It's also being together as a group of women, especially supporting each other. You can connect with people no matter if you have anything in common. A few years ago, I started running with a group of refugees in the forest north of Copenhagen. It was what they call a welcome camp for children who came without any parents. To go for a run with someone who just arrived from Afghanistan, it's a pretty strong experience, and I think that's the most gratifying part of my running journey. So I was 35, I had 2 small kids. For a couple of years, I ran just a little bit to teach my body how to run physically. It was not in my DNA. I reached around 10 kilometers was my longest run. And then I went to New York. I contacted some runners and I had promised myself to go on a 20-mile or 32-kilometer run, and it was completely crazy. The night before, I actually wrote a mail that says, I just want to say, it's a little too much for me to go that far. I've never run more than 12 kilometers. I think it's too much. So I'll meet you after. And so the best things that I ever did in running was that I read that mail and I deleted it and I didn't send it. Got up in the next morning, I looked in the mirror, I looked terrible, and I got 3 shots of coffee and I ran 32 kilometers. It completely changed how I thought about my own capability. I felt like I unlocked my own potential. But I must say that since then, I have dared to challenge myself in ways that I didn't do before that. I don't believe in regrets. I think that decisions are made in a certain time as a reaction to things that is happening at that point in time. And if you then go and always analyze back, you can always feel wiser later on. Would I have a different life if I didn't have kids? Yes. Would I have a different type of career? Maybe. If I hadn't met running in my life, I wouldn't have had all these experiences. My name is Nana. I'm 45 years old and I live in Copenhagen. I have a pair of shoes that I brought from Paris. I came to Paris with a group of women who were running there, some of them their first marathon, and I was there to cheer for them. I'm really happy that I got the chance to hand over these shoes. You guys inspire me a lot. And I'm not sure that you realize how much you inspire us when we run in Copenhagen or Berlin or New York. When we run, I would say that it's in a parallel with you guys. So we run next to you, but we're just super slow. And now they're going to you guys.